Hear with your eyes and not with your ears. Hear with your eyes and not with your ears.
Are you ready for the ultimate independent music video experience? The Plowzone Video Show is your exclusive gateway to the hottest bands on the planet. Hosted by Scott M. Reese and Scott Plowman, we spotlight independent music and the people who love to make it. Airplay, exposure, or revolution in the industry. Streaming on Roku on Otel Music Videos. And here are your hosts, Scott and Scott.
So this on or off? On or off?
You look really smart with them on.
All right, cool. I need that. I need all I can get. Hey, everybody. What's going on? I want to welcome you to another episode on Roku TV right here, the Plowzone Video Show, man. We got a great show for you today, man. We got rock royalty that's been there, done that. So if you've heard any rock music in the last couple decades, you've definitely heard this gentleman we got up today. And I want to introduce Scott Reese right here. What's up, Reese?
How you doing? Welcome to the Plowzone Video Show on Roku. Hey, we got the artist of a century right here. This is Vinny Appice. He has been in bands Rick Derringer, Dio, Black Sabbath, Kill Devil Hill, currently doing with Sabbath Knights. And we're going to bring on Vinny here in a sec. And we have with us Dilly Briggs is going to be here on the interview. Welcome, Dilly Briggs, with the Dilly News Rock Show. What's
Dilly
up?
Briggs in the house with us.
She
hooked it all up, man. She hooked it all up for us. So, Dilly, what's going on, man? How did you hook up this amazing interview?
Oh my God, I feel like I really do. I feel like I hounded them. I'm sorry, Vinny Appice and Lala, they were amazing. I've gone back and forth. I saw him recently and was able to speak with him, and he was, kind enough to say, yeah, reach back out to me. And it took a little while to kind of go back and forth to get this all set up, but I think just a lot of persistence and, going to these amazing shows and showing people that we truly care about these artists. And, we really want to be able to get some more information out for others and stuff. So, yeah, I feel honored and privileged that they replied and, we were able to, nail this down for all of us. I'm excited.
All right. Let's bring on the man himself. There's Vinny Appice. Welcome to the show, Vinny. How are you?
Welcome.
Drum
Thank you
monster,
very much.
Drum monster right there, man. What's going on?
I'm the drum monster. That's right. It says it in the back too. I don't know if you can see it. But...
Yeah.
Well,
it
welcome
should just
to
be
the
common knowledge.
Drum monster.
Already.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Vinny Appice, you are a legend. I'm doing research on you. I mean, I saw you back with the Black and Blue tour, I believe.
Wow.
With Dio. That was great. And I mean, looking back through your career, wow, you started hanging out with John Lennon. Yeah, went from John Lennon to Rick Derringer. I mean, what a career. But right now you're doing Sabbath Knights. So let's talk a little bit about that and what you're doing with that.
Yeah, Sabbath Knights is a thing I put together here. Actually, I've done it for years. Over in South America and in Europe. I did 2 or 3 tours. I can't even remember what it was. And then South America, I've been there about 4 times. And it wasn't called Sabbath Nights, but we played all the Sabbath stuff. Basically, the Sabbath stuff that I'm on. Mob Rules, Heaven and Hell, those albums, and then some of the Heaven and Hell album as well, and some old Sabbath too. So, and it went over so well. I mean, South America was insane, and Europe, it was insane. So I thought now's a good time to do this because I am playing with Last in Line with Vivian Campbell and on guitar and Phil Soussan on bass and Andy Freeman on vocals. We're doing another album, but Viv's out with Def Leppard until the end of September, and then he's got to do some business of his own. And so I got some time free, so I'm doing Sabbath Nights. So we play all this cool stuff, and we got a couple of gigs coming up. I can tell you what they are. One of them's in Marietta, California, which is near where I am, and that's on October 19th, and we're playing with Warrant, good friends Warrant. Actually, Eric Turner, the guitar player, used to live near me, right here. So we're playing kind of like a hometown thing. So, and then this first gig is October 5th in up in Washington at the Everett, Washington, at the Everett Theater. So we're playing up there as well. But it's a great show. We got Jim Crean on vocals, and he kicks ass. He's one of the few guys that could sing Dio and he could sing Ozzy not at the same time. But
Yeah. Oh, he's amazing.
that would be cool.
Amazing.
But he's a great singer, and the show kicks ass. So that's what I'm doing now, and I do a lot of every Tuesday at 4 p.m. I do a drum stream right here on Facebook, Vinny Appice Official, every 4 p.m. Pacific time. So
Very cool.
I was watching
cool.
that.
oh yeah? Yeah, it's fun. It's like a hang, we started it during COVID. It was supposed to be for maybe 2 months. And then the drum company sponsors it, Sawtooth Drums, that I use. That's these drums here. And they said, you want to keep doing it? I said, sure. It's great because it's like a hang now. I teach some stuff. We tell stories. And then Lollipop, my girl, she's on there asking questions because I can't see the screen from back there. And she's kind of the co-host. And it's been going on for like about 3 years.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, it was great. I love that your fans were asking so many questions and you were so engaged with them, and the way you give the instructions, while you're doing, this whole drum lesson to everybody too. I just loved it. I was completely enthralled. I was like,
thank you. Thank you. Hey, Plowman.
Yo.
It said before, enter the studio. So I entered the studio. Now, Reese looks like I entered the studio. Your background looks like I entered Home and Gardens.
I know because my room is all messed up, right? So I put on the let me change it right here.
Oh, you could change it?
Yeah.
Watch.
That's one of those. Okay, I thought that was your house.
There we go.
That reminds me of Brooklyn.
There you go. A native Brooklyn man right there.
Hey, all around the world just like that, man. So man. We changed it up because I'm here in Lake Havasu. I'm in Lake Havasu right now.
Oh, okay.
So,
yeah.
So what? So I just go plain or what? No. We'll just leave it like this. We'll give you some memories of home right here.
I was thinking, wow, he's in his living room. Nice place. Plays
the
piano and everything.
Radio, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's quite a piano player.
Yeah.
My background is your picture and your set list from the show I saw recently at stage in Santa Ana for Sabbath Knights.
Yeah. That was good. That was a good show. And
great show.
Great crowd, and we had fun. So it's fun doing this. It's fun playing the old stuff. There's no real stress because we're not trying to promote a new album and sell new songs to people. These days people don't want to hear new songs.
It's hard getting new. It's from doing radio all these years. It's hard getting new music in people's ears.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Hard.
I feel bad for this up and coming bands. Only certain up and coming bands get up there enough to actually have their stuff played and their name known. So a lot of guys in bands are doing it themselves, and girls. So.
Right. That's what we've been spotlighting independent music for years, and so that's what we base our show on is new independent music. And it's quite a challenge to get that in their ears, so we got to trick them, we got to trick them a little bit, a little bit of everything.
Like when you go see bands, a big concert or something, then they go, we got to play a new song from our album. Then you see a bunch of people going to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's time for a drink.
It's like a drum solo.
Yeah,
it's like a drum solo.
Everybody's waiting for those iconic songs, automatically, just like, when you played certain songs at stages, you saw the crowd go up against it. That's when everybody was up against the stage for those favorite songs, Yeah.
So all those songs are known. The set list, every song is known. So it's like a cool thing. It's enjoyable, the songs. We're not doing I'm not doing a drum solo. I'm not doing new songs. So it's a good set.
So let's back up a little bit, man. So besides your brother, but what was your first influence of the music? What was the first music that you heard that said, man, that's kind of maybe something I want to get into?
Well, really, my brother was the influence because he's 11 years older than I. So when he started playing, he used to have the band rehearse in the house in Brooklyn. And I was just 8 or 9 years old, and I'd sit on the floor and watch them go, wow, look at all the wires and the amps and singing and playing. This is cool. So that was like lit the fire, And then I started listening to, of course, Carmine's stuff he did. And early on, I think the first record I bought was the Beach Boys. I Get Around, So I don't know. It wasn't heavy, but good harmonies. So that kind of got me going. Then as I got a little older and I kept playing on Carmine's drums, I got Carmine actually joined a band called Vanilla Fudge. They became big, and they had Led Zeppelin opening the tour for them. And
nice.
Led Zeppelin was new. They used to get booed off the stage sometimes.
Really?
Nobody knew who they were.
Open for them.
Yep. Because
Wow.
back then, that's the late 60s. People
Yeah.
went to see the headliner. They didn't care about the people opening. And so Led Zeppelin, who's that? And then Carmine turned me on to the first album. And then from there, I listened to Hendrix and Blue Cheers, some Sabbath, all the heavy bands. So
I got
Very
a question. How did you end up in John Lennon's studio?
Yeah.
Well, I played in a band in Brooklyn, and we had 4 horn players. It was a 9-piece band, and the guitar player knew Jimmy Iovine. Jimmy Iovine produced John Lennon. He also owned Beats Audio and Interscope Records and all that stuff. So he was big. But back then he was a known producer, well known, and so they were friends. And then he invited us to come into the Record Plant Studios in New York and do some demos. And that's what we did. And the owner of the Record Plant liked it so much. It was a good band. It was really tight, 4 horn players, the whole bit, all originals. So he liked it. He signed us to a management deal, gave us a room upstairs at the Record Plant on the 10th floor to rehearse. And for us, it was a godsend because in Manhattan, everything's expensive even back then. And we didn't have to pay for a rehearsal. So this was cool. So we used to go up there every 3-4 times a week to rehearse at night. So we were hanging out, it was like a hang, we had our own stuff in there, our own gear. So one night Jimmy calls up and goes, "Hey, can you guys come down and do some hand claps for the session?" Okay. Because there were no computers where you can sample hand claps, back then. So we make our way downstairs to the first floor, walk in, and we see John Lennon. Go, oh my God, he's in the control room. We walk into the studio part, and we're freaking out. I was 16 and a half years old, still going to high school and stuff. And I look up, like, oh my God, is John Lennon. Then we put the headphones on him. He wants to tell us what to do. And now he's talking to you like it felt like he's just talking to me. I'm going, holy shit, this is unbelievable. So he told us he wanted hand claps on this part and double up on the choruses or pre-choruses. So it was really cool. So the song was called Whatever Gets You Through the Night. So It's a big song. It was a big single, had Elton John on it. So if you hear that, that's me and my band on that song. Yeah.
Right on.
So you'll recognize this. You hear it?
I do. But you guys didn't. But you guys did not get credit for it, correct? Right?
Nah, you hand clap by Vinny and his band. No, but it's funny. After that, after we did it, we went and met John, but we didn't act like fanboys. Took a picture with him. That was it. And then we went upstairs, and John was probably wondering, where did you get 9 guys like in 5 minutes? Well, they were upstairs. It's a great band. Jimmy's producing them. And so a couple of days later, we're up there rehearsing, and John comes in, sits down on the step, watches us play. And I remember that day, some of the muscles in my arm cramped a little bit. I went, oh my God, this is John Lennon in the room watching us. So he wound up coming up a lot, smoked a couple doobies with him and all this stuff. And he wound up asking us to do some videos that he wanted to shoot. And then he produced a singer, the owner of the Record Plant's wife, Lori, and we were the band. So we worked with him as a producer. And then he asked us to do a live show at the New York Hilton. And the live show was a salute to Sir Lud Grade. Sir Lud Grade was a big entertainment millionaire in England. John didn't like him. John thought Sir Lud Grade was two-faced. So John explained to us that here's what we're going to do. We're going to get masks of your face and put them on the back of your head, bald cap, no hair. So you're going home with two faces because he's two-faced. And then typical John. Typical John. And then you guys are going to get fitted for jumpsuits, black shiny jumpsuits, and I'm going to wear red. So he went with us in the van to go get the faces made. He went with us to go get fitted for the outfits we're wearing. And it was just amazing. So I used to go to school the next day. Yeah, I'm in high school going, where was I last night? I was hanging out with John Lennon.
Did people believe you? Did anyone believe you?
I don't know, but the teacher's teaching and I'm drumming, on the desk. And at a certain point, the teacher goes, excuse me, wait a minute. Who's that drumming? Vincent, stop that drumming. And I stood up and I said, excuse me, teacher, did anyone else in this room play with one of the Beatles last night? And I got up and I left.
Never mind.
That's right. Go out on the high note. Go out on the high note.
Damn.
Rockstar even back then.
Yeah.
So you still got that jumpsuit or what? You still got that jumpsuit?
No, my friend Angelo was he was the sound man for Sabbath, and then he wound up doing the engineering for Holy Diver, Last in Line album, 4DO Records. He was my best friend. Nice. And him, me, and Ronnie were Italian, so it was like the mafia and Dio, we got along good. So Angelo did that. He used to have tried to save it, and he saved the mask, but it disintegrated. So,
that would have been a great souvenir.
And then I find out that gig at the New York Hilton was a black tie affair. So it was very, Shirley MacLaine in the audience, the mayor of New York, all these people. And then they introduced John, and we come out, 9 guys with 2 faces on in the jumpsuits, and John in a red jumpsuit. Everybody's going, oh my God, what's going on with this? And so I found out about 6-7 years ago. That was his last live performance. It's in a magazine called The Guitar Aficionado. And I'm like, holy shit, I did. A kid from Brooklyn. Wow. In high school, I played his last gig, one of his last gigs. So you want to hear a funny story? I'll tell you this quick.
Yes.
Sure.
It's called a lasagna story. So I'm sitting there in the rehearsal room with John, was smoking a joint, and we're talking about Italian food. And I tell John that my grandparents are from Italy. My mother makes the great, beautiful lasagna, meatballs, the whole bit. I don't know if he ate meat, but I said, I'll have my mother make you some lasagna. And told my mother, and a couple of days later, I bring in a pan of lasagna to the Record Plant Studios. I see John. I said, John, this is from my mother. She hopes you enjoy it. Homemade. It's delicious. So he took the pan and he went away. And then a couple months later, my brother Carmine's playing with Rod Stewart at the time. Now they're doing like 6 nights at Madison Square Garden. And there's a big party. So my parents went to the party. They were very supportive. They came to all our shows, and they didn't mind I quit school. They knew I was going to do something. So they're at the party, and my mother sees John Lennon. She goes, look, Charlie, that's my dad. There's John Lennon. And let's meet him. And Carmine took my parents over to meet John Lennon. Said, this is my parents, and this is Vinny's parents. She made you the lasagna. Oh, and he hugged her, and they talked for a little bit. And at the end of the conversation, my mother asked John, did you bring the pan back? She's from Brooklyn. She thinks John's probably, before he left, maybe I should bring Mary's pan back because she might be there.
Was it Tupperware? If it was Tupperware, you have to return it, correct?
the metal pan with all the oil in it from years
Oh.
of making lasagna. So we think Yoko has it. So we haven't
There you
investigated.
Probably still has it this day. Who knows?
She
Yeah,
has everything else.
Souvenir,
else.
lasagna souvenir.
That's right.
God
That's
bless her.
awesome. That's awesome. What a great
Excellent.
story. What a great
Yes.
memory.
Oh yeah,
Excellent.
it was. I wish
Yeah.
I got. You know what? Stupid me. I didn't even get his autograph because we didn't want to, become fanboys. Because now I know how it feels when you're relaxing and then, this guy's a friend, and all of a sudden he comes over. Hey, what was it like to play with John Lennon? And now all of a sudden I'm working, doing an interview or something. I go, I'll tell you tomorrow. Just hang out. Just hang out. So
You're working.
So we were
All right.
good, and it worked. It was good.
That's awesome. So how did you come about to meet Rick Derringer? You played with Lennon and then John Lennon, then you went from there. How did you come up with Rick Derringer? Is he a local New Yorker?
Yeah, he lived in New York, and he heard me play and my band through the record plant tapes we did with Jimmy Iovine. He walked in one day. I wasn't there, but I said, "Who's that?" He goes, "Oh, it's a new band I'm producing, and who's the drummer? It sounds good. It's Vinny Appice, Carmine's brother." Oh, okay. So then I met him a day or two later, and he asked for my number. I gave him my number, and then about a month or two, he said, "I'm going to put a band together, and you sound really good. I'd like you to check it out." So he called me a couple months later. And I was in Louisiana playing with a band called Axis. Danny Johnson on guitar, Jay Davis on bass, and me, 3-piece. And he called me, so I was in Louisiana. He said, "I'm putting a band together, so I'd like you to play drums and looking for a guitar player and bass player." I said, "Why don't you come down to Shreveport and check this band out?" Because we were really good, 3-piece power trio. So Rick Derringer, he flew down a couple days later, and it was a big deal. It was like, Shreveport.
Wow.
Oh my God, Rick Derringer's coming to Shreveport. So he came, he heard us play. He really liked Danny, the guitar player. And he asked Danny to join. He didn't ask Jay, the bass player, to join. So eventually we flew to New York and we started Derringer and did, I don't know, 3 albums, 2 studio albums and 1 live album. And then we left, Danny and I, and because we were young. I was like 19, 18. Let's put Axis back together. Maybe now we can get it going. When you're young, anything goes, So we did. We left and we did Axis, and we did 1 album produced by Andy Johns. It was a good album, but we didn't have the backing. We didn't have the management and all that stuff. So
Went to Rick Derringer. All right.
There to now, though, I mean, it's just an amazing. You've had such an amazing career, such a a long, expansive career. And you're still going. You're still doing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Thank goodness I'm still going. And then a few months later, Derringer was done. We moved to California, and then I was playing in some local stuff, putting a band together and this and that. Then I got a call from Sharon Osbourne's office saying, "Vinny, we're putting a band together around Ozzy Osbourne, and we heard about you. We'd like to fly you to England and hang out with Ozzy, see how you guys get along." Oh, wow. Okay. So I called my brother Carmine. Back then, I didn't even know where England was. I haven't been out of the country except for Canada. So now I know Ozzy's crazy, isn't he? So I asked my brother, "Is Ozzy crazy?" He goes, "Yeah, he's pretty nuts." Yeah, I told a couple stories back in the day because Cactus, his band Cactus, toured with Black Sabbath and all the crap that went on. So I went, "Oh man, I don't know if I want to get involved in that." Go all the way to England and stuff. So I actually passed on it. I said I couldn't do it. And who knew what it was going to turn into, right? And then about a month or 2 later, I get a call from Black Sabbath saying, "Hey, we're stuck. We need a drummer. We heard about you, and you want to come down and meet Tony Iommi at the hotel tomorrow or tonight, whenever." And that was easy. It was in LA. So I said, sure. So I went and met Tony, and he had that Axis album, and he really liked it. So that was 1 foot in the door, and then we hit it off really good. Yeah, he's a jokester, and he's Italian from Birmingham, England, but so we hit it off really good. He invited me to come down and play the next day. And that's when I met Ronnie, Geezer Butler, Jeff was on keyboard, Jeff Nichols. And first song we played, because I heard it on the radio a week before, was Neon Nights. So I wasn't a big Sabbath fan, so I couldn't really play the whole songs. But Neon Nights, I knew it was boom, 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 a break in the middle for the guitar solo, and it kept going. So it was easy to fake it.
Now, my question is, when you meet Tony Iommi, when you meet these people, are they, bigger than life? And do you set yourself in there and say, I'm gonna, I don't know, meeting someone like that would be, especially Tony Iommi. Is that a big change for you, or do you have to put yourself in that position?
Well, luckily, the same thing with Rick Derringer. I wasn't a big Rick Derringer fan, and I wasn't a big Sabbath fan. So to me, it was like, okay, this is a job.
Work.
Got it.
We're on the same. Believe it or not, we're going to be on the same level, because they need a drummer, and if I'm the guy, I'm going to do the best I can possibly do and pull this together. So I wasn't sitting there going, oh my God, this is Tony Iommi. He's a Butler, Ronnie James Dio. So I was on that kind of level, musician to musician.
You're on the same level.
Which is better.
Yes.
Because then you're just focusing on, okay, what do we need to do? We got a gig in 4 days, at a stadium. So the first day we played a couple songs, and they were so happy they found a drummer, they went to the pub. And I'm like, oh, I need to learn 13, 14 songs, and they left.
They knew the songs.
But the confidence, they have the confidence in you already,
I stayed there and listened to the old Sony Walkman that Jeff, the keyboard player, had. And we went over the songs. He helped me a lot. Next day we played more, but then they went to the pub. Then we kept doing it. By the fourth day, they were getting nervous. And, whoa, yeah, right. So I made a cheat sheet book, I could read drum music. But I wrote out, guitar intro, verse 1, pre-chorus, chorus, that kind of stuff to get me through. But while we played, it was in Hawaii, it rained. So the book got all wet. So halfway through the set, I just couldn't read the book anymore. So we had to wing it. So that's how I met those guys. And then as the tour went on, it got better and better, and then really powerful. Yeah.
And then you went to record the Mob Rules, correct?
Yeah. And then that was the Heaven and Hell tour, the original Heaven and Hell tour for that album. And then midway through, they said Warner Brothers called. They want the band to do a song for the movie Heavy Metal, animated movie. Okay. So
sure,
they had a couple of days break. So next thing I know, we go to John Lennon's house. Now, he's passed already. That Tittenhurst, I think it's called. It's big mansion. And that's the one where they shot Imagine and
oh, really?
Him and Yoko walking through the gardens, and all the bushes, the hedges are 15 feet tall, shaped like dinosaurs, and pretty amazing, And then we're in there, and you open up a closet, and all these Beatle platinum records fall out, and swag, and
wow.
Even Tony and Geezer and Ronnie going, wow, look at this stuff. So they get the keys. I got John's room, of all people.
Nice.
I get to the room. It says John and Yoko. I went, holy shit, I got his room. So, but he just passed. So I was like, I don't know if I want to stay in there. I saw too many Frankenstein movies. I was young. I was like 20 years old. Well, I got a bathroom of horrors in the other room there. It's all crazy stuff.
Oh, nice. I'm with you. I got my monster shirt right now. I like my monsters. As you can see, I got my little monsters here too.
Yeah, I do a lot of the Comic-Cons and Monster Ones and blah, blah, blah. So,
you got your name, Monster Drummer?
Yeah. Well, that I picked a long time ago. Well, after all this, but that name was available. That's how long ago. Because now it'd be Drum Monster 1, 4, 3, B, because you can't get names that simple like that on Gmail. So So anyway, so then I stayed in a different room, and that's where we wrote and put together the mob rules for that album, heavy metal album. And then once we did that, that was my foot in the door, because I was in the band on the tour in case Bill came back, in case Bill Ward, the original drummer, came back, because they never played with another drummer other than Bill, but they needed to play because they didn't have a Bill anymore. And so once we did Mob Rules, that was it. It was like, whoa, everybody was excited. This kicks ass, man. Wow. Gave it a new energy to the band because I played different than Bill. It was a little different, you know. And then I thought, well, Bill probably is not the style to play Mob Rules. He plays his own stuff. So I thought, now I'm kind of in the door, you know, and that led to being in the band for sure. So we did the rest of the next album, which is the Mob Rules album.
Wow.
So,
Very cool. Okay. So Black Sabbath runs its course. You go do Live Evil. And then what happened? Did they get new singer? Ronnie
now what
left,
happened, Live Evil was would go in the mix in LA. And if we start at 2:00, Ronnie likes to be there at 2:00. Well, we'd get there at 2 and we'd be the only ones there. So Ronnie didn't want to waste time. So we go, well, let's put up the tracks and have a listen. They, you know, check it out. So then eventually it came up that Ronnie and I were putting the drums and the vocal louder than the rest of the stuff. I was like, why would we do that? Yeah, especially me. I just got in the band. I didn't do anything. So that kind of got friction with the band, and then Ronnie had enough. And then after the tour, we were at the Rainbow Bar and Grill in LA and Hollywood. And Ronnie goes, I'm leaving the band. I'm starting my own band. I'd love you to play drums. Oh, okay. So, because I could have stayed with Sabbath too, but I thought Ronnie and I get along like brothers. Is greatest singer in rock. Why not do this? It'd be more exciting to start a new band. So that's how the band came together. And eventually we got Vivian Campbell on guitar and Jimmy Bain on bass. And we did a first album called Holy Diver. And we were just having fun. Sound City Studios with...
Oh, Sound City?
Yeah, that's where we went into Sound City. And the Sound City, there's a rehearsal building with 3 or 4 rooms. Across the parking lot's the studio. And so we rehearsing right in that building. Then when we had 4 songs, we'd take all the gear, just bring it across the parking lot, you know, like cymbals on a stand. We didn't break anything down, just bring it in the studio, put it in there. And we started recording Holy Diver.
And do you think you felt the magic of that album when you did Holy Diver? I mean, that's just a great album. Great album.
Well, we thought this is coming out really good, you know, and I would think, man, it'd be great if it sold 100,000 or 200,000 back then. Mm-hmm. And my drum tech kept going, no, man, this is going to be big, man. I go, really? I hope so. And then we brought all the stuff back into the rehearsal room and wrote 4 more songs. And we brought it back to the studio, recorded it, finished it. Angelo, my friend Angelo, the bass player for John Lennon, he was the engineer, and Ronnie produced it. So we finished the album. Then we saw the album cover, which is an amazing cover. And we thought, wow, this is good. So, and then they started booking, Wendy Dio booked us playing with Aerosmith. And we were going on before them, which Ronnie didn't like. And then they had fist fights on stage back then and all this.
Wow.
Shit. So Ronnie said, that's it. Not going on this opening for them anymore. So they booked us in theaters, and we had Queensryche opening, and we packed the place, sold every place out. And then the album just climbed the charts and just went platinum real quick. Next thing you know, we're playing arenas, and the album's still selling. It became Definitely. A cornerstone of rock almost. And we're like, we were just having fun hanging out, you know, at Sound City. Because Sound City, they let us do anything we wanted to. We had pinball games. We'd open them up and put cardboard in there so you couldn't lose the ball. Hey, you guys want some candy? The candy machine. Punch holes in the wall. They let us do anything they wanted. So we loved it there. And then
That's great.
later on, I spoke to Dave Grohl, and he said Nirvana recorded there because when they walked in, they saw the Platinum Holy Diver album. They went, that was recorded here. We have to do our album here.
Yeah,
so that was a big compliment.
Yeah. Didn't Dave Grohl buy the board? The Neve?
Yeah. Yes, because the board was an old Neve, and there was so much, it was really dirty. They didn't have a big maintenance schedule in Sound City. There were some days we'd record and it was raining in LA, which is unusual, and it's dripping in the studio near the drums, and we put a bucket there. Boop, boop, boop. Wet, the floor is wet. So the board wasn't in great shape. There's been drugs spilled on it. There's been booze spilled on it. Soda, God knows what else. So
it has a lot of memories.
Yeah, some channels didn't work. It's like Fleetwood Mac used that. I mean, so many people use that board back. A list of artists. So Dave, when they were selling it, he wanted to buy it. So he bought the board, and then he did a movie about it. So he asked me to be in the movie. I'm in there for 5 minutes. But when I saw the board, it didn't look anything like the board I remember. He had it all redone. It's beautiful. So I'd imagine he still has it too. So
he has his studio up in Washington, I guess, wherever he lives, and built the whole studio around that board.
Yeah, well, it was a studio here in Van Nuys. He used to have it in Van Nuys, so I don't know if he moved it or not.
Oh,
but
bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know. You could be right. That could be.
I don't know. I thought I know he has a studio like 666 or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So Vinny, man, here's a question for you. Out of all your accomplishments, what are you most proud of? Out of everything you've done, what are you most proud of? Say.
I would say being able to fit in a legendary band like Black Sabbath and making music and recordings with them. And then also creating an album that is just so like the cornerstone of rock is Holy Diver, and a great band that Ronnie put together, and I was there. So those are pretty good achievements. And then playing with John Lennon. I'm not bragging, but there's a lot of them.
You have every right to brag. Please brag.
Yeah, I'm not bragging, but that's pretty cool, and doing all this stuff, and I'm really fortunate, and I appreciate it.
All right, here's another one. You have any Spinal Tap moments?
Yeah, we had. I remember. I think it was Poughkeepsie with Dio. We go. Okay, we had an intro tape, of course. The dressing rooms were in the basement, and then go, okay, you ready? Yeah. So the tape's playing. Come on, follow me. We'll go to the stage. Nobody could find the stage. Walking around going, oh shit, it's gonna run out. The tape's almost ending. Couldn't find the stage, and I'm thinking, oh my God, really? Eventually we found it. The thing ended already, and then another Spinal Tap moment was with Black Sabbath on the Mob Rules tour, or Heaven and Hell tour. We played Stafford, England, a big arena, sold out. And back then, when you wanted smoke, you had to put dry ice in hot water on a big oil drum. And it created smoke, and then they had a fan blowing the tubes on the stage. And the oil drums were behind my drums, down below. So when we started the song Black Sabbath, everything happened at that song, like weird stuff.
I guess.
When it got loud, there's that dong, dan, dan, for the verses. Then Ronnie goes, oh no, boom, the smoke. Well, they put the dry ice in the thing and it blew up.
Oh,
Not supposed to blow up. So the water went 20 feet in the air. The audience thinks it's part of the show. They're going, yeah, wow, Sabbath. And it all came down on me.
Oh, no.
Oh.
And Tony and Geezer and Ronnie turned around. And they start cracking up. They're laughing. We stopped the song. They're like, oh my, they're laughing at me because I'm all wet. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I realized there's something in the back of my pants on my ass that's burning.
It's dry ice.
Yeah. So I get up, I go, I'll be back. And I ran off the stage in front of 10,000 people, go to the medics, and they were women. I had to pull my pants down, and they have to peel this stuff off your skin.
Oh, jeez.
And put cream
Ow.
on. So I had to do that for a week or two. And then they dried up the stage and the whole thing. And I came on the stage with a pillow. And the audience went, yeah, Vinny's back, the pillow.
We finished. We still get our show.
Finished the show. The show must go on.
The show must go on. That's right. All right, Dilly, you got a question for Vinny?
Actually, yeah, I wanted to ask about your upcoming I know you have appearances, personal appearances, separate from the Sabbath Night appearances and the little tour you're doing. And I wanted to talk about that. Now, you have Derek Briggs on those appearances. Tell us about that.
Okay. We met in January of this year. We did a kind of Comic-Con thing in Pasadena. And I was set up here at this table, and across the aisle was Derek Briggs. And he's the artist that came up, created Eddie for Iron Maiden and all the artwork, that great artwork. So I thought at one point, let me go say hi. As I got up, hey, Derek, I'm Vinny. Blah, blah. He's really nice, and his wife, Kim. So we started talking and stuff. Then we find out that they live like 2 miles from my house.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, what?
Small world.
God. So you go, maybe let's do some signings together. So we booked our first signing before the summer, I think it was. And it was really successful. Then we did 2 so far. Now we got one coming up at Solaris Beer and Blending. And it's in Marietta, California on Cherry Street. This Sunday from 1 to 6. So we're doing another one, and that's this Sunday at Solaris Beer and Blending. And it's been really good because it's like Black Sabbath meets Dio meets Iron Maiden.
Exactly.
Put all the banners up, and I got a whole bunch of swag, and he's got a bunch of swag. So you can come in, buy stuff, get it signed, and hang out. These are breweries. You can hang out. People go and have some beers. They hang out. Usually they get drunk and come back and buy more stuff, which is great.
That's right.
So we got that. And then there's 4 more this month, and we get along good. We go out to eat together. Me, Lala, and Lala's my girl. And Kim is Derek's wife, and Derek. And Derek's from England. And now I'm used to English humor and the way they talk and all that.
Dry humor.
When I was playing with Sabbath, I first joined. Tony and Geezer from Birmingham, England, and they had very heavy accent. So they'd say something. I go, okay. Then I go over to Ronnie and go, what did they say? I couldn't understand. I'm like, what did he say? Blimey and blah, blah, all these expressions. What are they talking about?
Anytime I watch an English movie, I have to have the words going across because it's like, I don't understand.
Anytime I watch a movie, I have to have the closed caption on anyway.
I would think you probably played a couple concerts that might have injured your eardrums.
Yeah, I don't have in-ears, and I always had big giant monitors behind me with those bands, or just monitors and crank it. When I do stuff in this room, fortunately, it's cranked in the headphones, So probably due to get a hearing aid, So I went to the hearing aid place. I got one of those horns. Actually, I got one of those old record players, like you wind, and it's got a horn. You take the horn, you go, man, I can hear good with this thing. Don't let me on the plane with it, but I don't.
No. That's right. All right. So, Scott.
Oh, back to me?
Back
So,
to you, brother.
any advice for any up and coming people getting into music, or for the younger generation?
Yeah, don't.
It's full. We're full. Stop.
I think we're full up by now. There's so many bloody bands. Bloody. I think it's a lot harder now. Although you have the internet where you can actually pump your band and create your own videos, and people have done it like that. So it's a whole different thing. Back when I was doing this, it was like if you got a record deal, wow, you get an album out and the record company promotes it. That was it. That was the cool stuff. It was easier to do. But what you got to do is all the power is in the songs you write. You write good songs, great songs, hooks, whatever you want to do, whatever type of music. That's where the power is to make the band big, to make you big, and then to make money. The money's in the publishing, and you got to have a share of that. It's important. And not only do you have to have a share of that, you have to make sure the checks have your address on them, and not some cheesy manager that you guys met and you think he's the greatest, and then a year later he leaves and everything's going to his address in his office. So you got to be business savvy and make sure the money comes to you or to your band, and have a band agreement if it starts becoming a little bigger, that kind of stuff too. I'm actually going to speak in Cincinnati, Ohio at a first college thing about business and the music business.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Because so many people are going to rip you off if you don't watch it, So, we had a manager with the Axis band. They joined us into ASCAP. And back then, ASCAP was given $250 advances. So after the band was kind of getting over, I thought, let me check ASCAP and see if I can get an advance. So I check, and they go, "Oh, you already got one." I got one.
Oh.
Who was that paid to? And it was one of the managers. They didn't say anything,
Wow.
So that was a lesson. Like, okay. So since then, everything comes to me. I got writing on a lot of the Dio stuff, and all that stuff comes to me. And it's 40 something years old, but it's still selling, So
Now, is that stuff that you learned along the way, or did you kind of take any type of like business courses, management courses, or anything like that? Or is this kind of like a live and learn type of situation for you?
It was live and learn. That was like an eye opener like this. And my brother was good with business too. He was very good with making money, investing money, and all that stuff. But we never sat down and talked about, in depth about the publishing money and this money, And then it was just obvious, like, okay. So now with Last in Line, I'm the accountant.
It's important to know that.
I book the airfares. I book whatever needs to be done, hotels. I deal with the agent, and then I get the deposits from her. So everything's accounted for, and that's got to keep an eye on all that stuff. I know, because what happens is it's fun doing this. You're going on tour, and man, I'm playing in front of people, and everybody loves you, and all this and that. But you don't want that to overshadow. Did we get that money? And forget about it.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, because you're doing it for a living. This is your work and your living, and it's just amazing the fact, and you have so many guest players that come with you. I know for the Rocktoberfest and Oktoberfest, you're going to have some special guest players like Sam Van Colton.
Yes, Sam's going to play with us. That's right. And the bass
who
player,
else is going to be playing with you?
Paul Lerna, and he played with the band Fear, and he had a cool Sabbath tribute band too. That's how I saw them. He's a great bass player, super guy. Jim Green, who is the vocalist, he's played with Carmine and I. We've done albums together. Yeah, Jim is great. He's one of the only guys that can sing Dio and Ozzy. So I play with people. Yeah, I can sing Ozzy, and then Dio's stuff comes up, and struggling, man.
Yeah,
Ronnie's like, his vocals are encrypted. You know, you got to know how to sing those. And
So we seen you at the NAMM show a couple years ago, man. How many years have you been going to that, and what keeps you? What do you like about the NAMM show?
I used to hate the NAMM show. I used to not go, but then for a while, and then I got to the point where, you know what, this is cool. It's a bunch of musicians and it's hanging out. And one point they went outside and did a whole big drum thing, like a rhythm.
Yeah.
Thing. Everybody could sit there. I'm like, this is cool. You know, I mean, you wind up signing a lot of autographs and pictures. You try to go somewhere and, hey, can I take a picture? But, you know, when that doesn't happen, that's when you should worry. So, so now I like it. And then we did the the drum company I'm with. These are Sawtooth drums. And it's a good friend, Joe Fuco, that owns the business. And they're online real big. They do guitars, amps, basses, everything, percussion, audio stuff. And I hooked up with them 10 years ago. And they did their first NAMM show right before COVID. So, you know, so all the artists, they had me, Rudy Sarza, and a whole bunch of people. We all went down and we appeared on at their site at the NAMM show. And every time I went, we're going to jam with a couple of Sabbath songs. The sound police came.
Oh, no.
Then they want us to play lower. I'm like, okay, fine. So I tried to explain to the guy. I said, you can't play Black Sabbath low. It's got to be at a reasonable volume. We weren't cranking, but come on. So every time I played, it was the same shit. And but this was the most active booth in the whole NAMM show. They had things going all the time. When I was done, then it was Michael Badio. The guy plays like this, guitar. He did a thing. He had a band there. It was nonstop. We tore up the place. And then unfortunately COVID hit and they didn't do it the next year. And the next year was all a mess. And we haven't done it since. So I don't know what's going to happen coming up, but we'll see. I think what happened was with COVID, and then companies realized, you know what, we could do this stuff online and sell online some of the same stuff at the NAMM show, and it doesn't cost us $150,000, you know. So we'll see what happens this year, you know.
Yeah, it's not as it was before, but
No.
I am happy to see that it is trying to come back, because there are so many people that still try to come out for it. And
What they should have did, they should have lowered the prices for the vendors to come in. That's what I would have did. I mean, you know what? People are starting to shy away from this and go to the internet. You know, let's make them a deal. You guys come back, you know, here's the price for the booth. And because they charge for everything. It's expensive.
Yes.
This company's got to pay a fortune. So we'll see what happens. But it was so funny because we just tore it up. The sound police were there all the time and all that shit. That was cool.
You're like,
Yeah, that's where we met Dilly Briggs. Then we met Dilly Briggs at the NAMM show last year, right?
What's that?
Yes. I was
We met
there
Dilly
at
at
the
the NAMM show last year. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love it. I go every year. I like that music exposure. I like, you know, hobnobbing with everybody. It's a great business, you know, venture for those of us in the industry to be able to connect with others in the industry as well, of course.
Yeah. It's a good tool for networking, you know.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons
Definitely.
I go. And I do usually get a lot of bands that ask me, hey, Dilly, are you going to go? Because we'd like to try to get an interview this year. Hey, Dilly, are you going to be there? Because I've gone enough times now that even the Hilton and the Marriott and all them follow my stuff from the NAMM stuff and everything else, because we're there on a regular basis, you know. So I love it, and I'm happy to be able to go every year to see all the different artists that are there. Like, you know, I saw people from Alice Cooper, you know, of course, Jose Mangin was there. There was just so many different artists.
I saw Robbie Krieger from The Doors.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. If you were there, I missed you.
What is it? One of the guitar,
sorry.
I think it's the guitar player. Is it Robbie Krieger? I think it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but Robbie Krieger. Actually, I do a lot of rock and roll fantasy camps, and we've had everybody on those camps. And the one coming up is February 20th in LA. It's Robbie Krieger, Stuart Copeland from the Police, who I never met, so I'm looking forward to that. Skunk Baxter and Leland Skylar, the bass player,
brothers.
played on every song probably you ever heard. So it's going to be February 20th at Rock Fantasy Camp. And those I enjoy. Those are fun.
Nice.
I know we're running late, but I got one more for you, Vinny.
Yeah.
What keeps you inspired? What keeps you going besides the money? Say besides the money, what keeps you inspired?
You know, it's just inside. You know, it's just inside. And then when you can, it's hard getting this Sabbath Knights thing. You know, I'm having some resistance here and there with some of these like promoters and things. I don't understand what's going on. It's like there's a million tribute bands out there, but this is a tribute band with somebody that was in the band.
Yeah, original members.
yeah.
Oh, you got members here.
The band kicks ass. So
Yes.
what's the problem, you know? So the fans' reaction to the stuff keeps you going. You know, people come up and go, "Oh, that was cool," or your drumming inspired me on those albums, and that's kind of like a bonus. It's just I love to play, you know. And even in here, I got doing Joel Holstra's new album, so I've got 10 songs to record in here, and we're doing the Last in Line album too. We just started putting that together, and we're going to do it remotely. You know, we're putting the songs down because we last year we jammed all the riffs and put things together. Now Andy Freeman, our singer, he's good at putting the songs together. Once we get it, we work with Chris Collier, who produces it, engineers it, amazing. And then I'll get it here, and I can put my drums on it. And I love doing this because I can. Let's change that mic over there. Let's move it back. It's just me. I'm the engineer. Let me try a different mic. Let me try a different drum. And then I get the sound I want, and I can play exactly what I want, what I feel feels right in the song. You know, because when you're playing in the studio and there's a guy running the gear, you got to say, let me do that over. You know, it takes a while. So I love doing this. I love it. I mean, I spend so much time, even for a simple fill, ba ba bum boom. I go, that doesn't feel right. You know, maybe it's ba-dum bam or ba-dum bam. I try all these different things. It's like a 2-beat space that I'm trying to make right, but I can take all the time I want. You know, so
That's right. You're not paying that studio time bill.
yeah, not paying studio time. Exactly.
All right. So,
wow.
We got anything else or what? Do we got a thing in England?
Yeah, we are have a show right now. I just told them we're going to run in a little bit late because we have Vinny Appice with us. We do a live show. Did I say that? Did I say it?
Appice.
I said it right the first time.
That's Carmine Appice.
Oh, that's right. That's it.
Brother Carmine,
Not the same.
I'll ask the question. Vinny, why do you guys have two pronunciations? Okay, because Carmine used to say Appice. Then when he played with Rod Stewart couldn't pronounce, or he was confused as to how to pronounce it, because some people go Appice, Appice, Apache, all this stuff. So Carmine asked Rod, how do you pronounce it? And he says Appice. So he became Carmine Appice. And I don't want to say Appice. Sounds like a piece of pizza. So and then we got another brother. He lives down the street here. The oldest brother. He doesn't play. Frank Appice. That's the Italian. Appice.
Appice. Yeah.
Appice. Okay.
So it's totally mixed up.
Well, mine is Plowman, just like it sounds, you know, just like it's written Plowman, you know. So.
Yeah, Plowman. Easy.
Yeah, Plowman, yep.
Briggs.
That is definitely an E.
This is
Reese.
Italian.
I get Reese if I was Italian.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, technically, my first name is Adelia, so Spanish, not Italian.
The Appice, I heard, is the people that live at the top of the mountains in Italy. That's what I heard. We don't live at the top of the mountain. I live on the street here. Actually, we're on a hill. That can count. So I think my batteries will die soon in case, but I didn't get it.
What you do, you consider that art or a craft?
I'm sorry, what?
Your music you play, everything you do, is that an art or a craft? You
both.
Think?
It's both. Craft is I can play. could play the drums. That's my craft. The art is being creative about what you play. And even though it's drums, which I do on my site on my Facebook thing every Tuesday, I explain you got to play musically. You know, you got to fit in this. See, I like to fit in the song. I don't play on top of the song. I play in the song, and it's a different thing. You know, usually the band follows me because it's just the way I play. But you can play musically on the drums. I demonstrate it all the time, you know, repeating things, or, you know, I just hear the shit. I just hear it, you know. Maybe I'm crazy. As long as I don't hear, go kill somebody, I'm okay.
Some of the best musicians are crazy. You know,
Yeah,
that's what brings
definitely.
such great music out. And you
That's
have a
right.
lot of passion. And I really appreciated that, you know, at the show at Stages, that you guys came out afterward to talk to the audience and, you know, sign autographs for them and stuff. Do you prefer like the smaller venues, or do you prefer the bigger venues? Isn't that harder to do at bigger venues?
Oh yeah, bigger venues. There's too much security. You know, it's a pain in the ass. You try to get somebody backstage, you know, from your family and all that stuff. But of course, it's fun to play the big venues. But the little ones, you know, the people are right there. You kick ass right there, and they can feel the energy. I can feel their energy, and I like them both. But you know, I would like to play the bigger places, and then optional. Play the little places,
Of course.
but right now we're in the little places. But you know what? I've been there and done the other thing. I can't complain. So as long as we're playing music, but at the end of the day, when you have a good show, it's the same for both venues. You
There
feel
you go.
like, oh man, that was cool. The people loved it, and you feel the same. It's the same feeling.
Do you like
Excellent.
indoor shows or outdoor shows more?
I like indoor shows. It could be louder. Yeah,
It's louder.
The sound is better.
sound is better. Outdoors, you play and you hit the drum and it goes away.
It's gone. Huh?
Inside, you're getting that reverb from the place, you know, all that stuff.
What's one of your more memorable shows to where it was just like
Magic.
There's been a lot of them. You know, when we first played L.A. with Black Sabbath, and then we played with Sabbath on the Heaven and Hell tour. Played 4 nights at oh shit, what's the name of the place? The theater in London. Senior moment. Hammersmith.
Odeum.
Played there 4 nights, and then Brian May came up and joined us on some of the songs.
Wow.
It was like, oh, this is cool, you know. Then later on, years later, with the Heaven and Hell tour we did, 2009, we did a meet and greet. So Tony, Giza, me, Ronnie were sitting at the table. Fans come up. We sign stuff. They take a picture, and they're gone. Well, Brian came to the show, and Brian walks in, and he sits down at the end of the table. And he starts signing shit and taking pictures, too. So kids are walking in going, oh, my God. The band and Brian May. Oh, my God. He's such a nice guy. Such a great guy. Great player, obviously. So, yeah. So some of that stuff is amazing, you know.
That is great. All right, guys. Well, Vinny, I want to thank you so much for coming on the Plowzone Video Show on Hotel Music Videos. Dilly Briggs, Scott Plowman, everyone. I want to thank everyone. What a great show.
Yeah,
and thank you for showing the inside of the music business and all that, Vinny. Thank you.
I'm going to do a book one day to remember all this stuff, but we'll see.
Yeah, happens. You should definitely. I'd buy it.
I'd buy it.
I'm an author, so anything written down I think is fantastic, because you'll get so many more people, you know, interested in all those stories you have to tell.
Yeah,
just like
a whole bunch of different stories with
these
different
stories.
But on the book, I'm going to have some pages that are splattered with meatball gravy. Italian. Oh, sorry.
Lasagna sauce.
Stuck together.
Blank pages. I don't remember that day, and it'd be blank. I think it'd be great. People turn and go. I used to
autograph. Yeah, your autograph, a little bit of gravy on it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I want some of the Italian sauce.
I used to, like Claude, our keyboard player. he'd be reading on the bus. We're driving. He gets up and goes to the toilet on the bus, and he puts the book down. We're all sitting there. I go, who the fuck's reading a book on a tour bus? You know, I'm like, come on. So I got his book, and he was at the end. I tore out the last page, and everybody knew it. So he comes back, and we're all like, and you can see him go. He's going back and forth.
Oh,
And then we all start laughing.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's hilarious.
That is
So don't leave
so
any
awesome.
books around.
Well,
Obvious.
All right, Vinny.
Oh, before we leave, I just really fast wanted to say thank you so much again for, the back and forth. I know it took a little while to get all this set up,
Yeah,
and I wanted to say
cool.
thank you to you and Leslie, Lala, your Lala Lollipop for, doing all of this and setting everything up. And a quick little happy birthday to her, because I do know that you posted recently that she had a birthday. So
Yeah, nice birthday.
she did so much to set this up with us, and it was wonderful meeting her at stages as well. I just wanted to say thank you to her as well, too, and a happy birthday.
Okay. Is this live? No.
No.
Okay. Let me
Yeah,
know
as
when
soon
it's
as
on.
this is done, there's going to be a live show that we'll be able to immediately promote and talk about this, so people know to tune in later to see the visual.
That's right. This is going to be on. It's going to be on Otel Music Videos on the Roku channel. So you go to the Roku channel, go to search, put in Otel, not motel, not hotel, Otel Music Videos.
OTEL?
OTEL Music Videos on Roku.
Ooh, I got the
Yes.
Roku.
Check it
Music
out.
video.
We have 4 shows on there, and Vinny is going to be number 5.
Okay, cool.
And
I'll
then
tell
from
them-
there down the line, the audio will also go up for Rockers Edge Radio and Chaotic Radio. And then we'll add a little write-up for Inside the Orange Curtain for my end of the extra stuff.
Cool. Well, good. I'll spread the word. I'll tell my family. That's at least 200 Italian people tuning in.
Nice.
All right, we want to thank Vinny Appice, right?
Yeah.
For coming on the Plowzone Video Show. And hey, Vinny, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You ever been plowed?
Oh, behave.
Did here in the Plowzone Video Show. We want to thank you so much, man, and for having this man right here, this live rock and roll history, and been a part of it, and did great contributions to many music and albums through the years. And he's not going nowhere, man. So check out his links right there.
Yeah.
And you know what? Getting plowed is a very good thing most of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thank you
Thank you,
guys.
guys.
for having me. Yeah.
Thank
nice
you
to
so much.
be here. So
Peace.
see you
Have a
soon.
great day.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey man, when's the last time you got plowed?